Okay, welcome to the video on regular and irregular shapes. Quick, write down in your book. What is the name of this shape right here? This one. What is this shape called? Write it down. The one I'm circling. Write it down. Okay, hopefully you've written it down. Hopefully you wrote down the word rectangle. Rectangle. If this is your first video you've watched of me today, my pen isn't working, so I have to write all these into the mouse, and I apologize. It's not easy. Okay, it's a rectangle. And you're correct, it is a rectangle, but it has another name, has a different name. What could that name be? Well, let's take a look at its neighbor over here, and maybe we can figure out what the name might be. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's interesting. Write down, what is the name of this shape? What is this shape called that I've just revealed? This one. Not sure? Question mark? Are you thinking, huh? I have no idea what that shape's called? Maybe it's called Squiggly McSquiggly? Well, no, you'd be wrong. Before I tell you what that shape's called, let's come over here and look at this one. We know that this is a rectangle. You got that right. But there's another name for this shape. You could also call it a quadrilateral. Write this down in your book, please. Quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means made up of four lines. Quad, hang on, where's my pen? Yeah, quad here, that means four, and lateral means line. So it's a four-lined shape. Four-line shape. So let's look at our neighbor over here, the funky squiggly one. Let's count how many lines this shape has. It's got one line here. It's got one line here. One here and one here. So it's got four lines. So wait a second, if it has four lines, then that means that this shape must also be a quadrilateral. But how can that be? Like, how can this squiggly shape that looks totally odd, how can that also be a quadrilateral, whereas this one over here that we've seen for ages, rectangle, is also? What's going on? Well, boys and girls, the answer is that we need to learn about what are regular shapes and what are irregular shapes. Can you guess which of these is the regular and which is the irregular? Well, you would be correct if you guessed that the regular shape is this one, the rectangle, and the irregular shape is this one. But why? Okay, let's find out. Here we go. A regular shape. I've got a regular pentagon here, and it's irregular because of the following reasons. The sides are the same length, and the angles are the same size. Now, if you don't know what sides means that I'm talking about, you know what angles means, that's fine. Go back and watch the other video. If you're with me, you know what sides and angles are, then let's keep going. Okay? As a bonus, you could also say that this pentagon here is equiangular. That means angles are the same. And equilateral. That means the sides are the same. So if your pentagon has those qualities, like this one does, we can call it, a regular pentagon. A regular pentagon. It's a regular pentagon because these lines are all the same length. Isn't that crazy? And also all of these angles are the same size. So that gives it the quality of being regular. Yay, go pentagon! Okay, the next shape over here I'm going to show you is... It's also a pentagon! If you don't believe me, count the sides. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's also got 5 sides. But this pentagon here looks a lot different from this pentagon over here. And the reason is because this pentagon is irregular. Let me just erase this so you're not distracted by all of my doodlings. And we know it's an irregular shape because not all of the angles are the same size. Look, these down here are right angles. But these up here, these are obtuse angles. And this one could be a right angle if I drew it properly. But it doesn't matter. The point is that some angles are different from the other ones. So angles are not the same size, and sides not the same length. The sides actually on this one, let's see, yeah, they are a little bit shorter. But even if the sides are the same length, You couldn't have that if the angles are different. So this pentagon, it looks like a house, I guess, is an irregular pentagon. They're both pentagons, but this one is irregular. Okay, now it's your turn. What I would like you to do in your book is write down the letters of these shapes, okay, A, B, C, all the way to, and put them in 2 columns. Make a column that shows the regular shapes and a column that shows the irregular shapes. For example, if you think that this shape up here, shape A, is a regular shape, then write the letter A in the regular column. If you think B is irregular, then write that in the irregular column. Once you're done, you can push play, and we'll sort through these and go over the answers. Good luck. Okay, so if you're watching this, then you've sorted these letters into the columns of regular or irregular, so let's check your answers. A, this triangle is definitely regular. The angles and the sides are all the same. Well, I should say the angles are the same size and the sides are the same length. So it's a regular shape. B is also a regular shape. It looks like a circle like on your screen, but if you look, it's actually made up of, I think, 10 different sides. So this is a regular shape. Pretty cool. C, over here, this thing, is well, it's supposed to be a quadrilateral, but you can see my pen is not working. Triangle, rather. This is an irregular shape. You got sides of different lengths, you got angles of different sizes. Yeah, definitely irregular. D, you should have put in the regular column. All of these angles here that open up, I'll get my pen here, all these angles here like this are all the same, even though they kind of turn a bit, they're all the same, and the sides are all the same length, so definitely a regular shape. A, B, C, D, E. We have a rectangle down here. Now, most people would put rectangle over here in regular, but the rectangle actually doesn't fit one of the qualities of a regular shape. It might have angles that are the same size here. It's got these right angles, right? Here and here. But the sides are way different lengths. You've got this really long length here, zoop, and this really short length here. So this is not a regular shape. We could say it's an equiangular shape, but it's not an equilateral shape. So this has to go over here in the irregular column. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, F. Our friend, the square. Squares are, by definition, regular shapes. So it has to go over here. Same side, same angles. G, this little Pac-Man looking angular thingy is an irregular shape. We have sides of different lengths, angles of different sizes, definitely irregular. I, this pentagon is a regular pentagon, so it has to go in the regular column because, as we've seen before from the previous pentagon, it's got sides and angles of the same shape and length. And H, our last trapezoid, this trapezoid is an irregular shape. And we can see that clearly from the way the angles are, the sizes of the angles and the lengths of the sides. So let's check our answers. In regular column, you should have had A, B, D, F, and I. And in irregular column, you should have had C, E, G, and H. Alright, let's move on to the last bit. Okay, now it's your turn to show me what you know. In your book, I want you to draw an irregular four-sided shape. Pause the video, draw one, and then compare with the one I drew and see how you went. Okay, if you're still watching, then you would have drawn one, so I'll draw you one. When I draw an irregular four-sided shape, I try to move away from like a square, and I usually, I don't know, I just end up doing something like this. Like, I'll draw a line here, and I'll go down like that, and then I realize, wait, I need a four-sided shape, so I come up here in the middle, and then I go down like this. And I kind of draw, I don't know, what does that look like to you? Maybe a boomerang or something? Anyways, this is an irregular four-sided shape. So if you had something similar to this, there's lots of ways you can draw an irregular four-sided shape. That's cool. So what I'd like you to do now, at the bottom here, it says now draw what the shape would look like if you turned it to the right 90 degrees. So pretend that you could take your shape and you could rotate it to the right 90 degrees. What would that look like? Well, I have the benefit of the software here, so I can actually copy this shape over. I can drag it over here, and I can just grab and turn it 90 degrees to the right. And it looks like it's pointing to the right. But instead of doing that, I'm going to do what you guys are going to have to do. So I'm going to draw it. So go ahead and see if you can draw what your shape would look like turned 90 degrees to the right. What I'm going to do is just try to do it freehand here. So if if I imagine this nose part called the nose coming down like this, and it's going to look like that, right, pointing that way. And then it's going to have the back part like this. What do you think? How did I do? Pretty good? Ticks? Yep, I think so. They're pretty nice. Hopefully yours looks good as well. Okay, let's move on to the last one. Last slide. Okay, now what I would like you to do is draw an irregular 5-sided shape. Now you can either pause the video and do it on your own, or you can follow along with me. I'll draw one, and then we'll do the activity down here at the bottom. So an irregular 5-sided shape is going to look, there's lots of ways it could look. I might do something like this. You know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use my line tool. Okay, so I'll go 1. I'll make it crazy. How about, yeah, how about that? How about that? Yeah, 2, 3, yeah, 4, 5. Haha. Okay, that is my, let me group these together. That is my irregular 5-sided shape. That's pretty cool. You can confirm that it's a 5-sided because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So believe it or not, guys, this is a pentagon. I've drawn a pentagon, but it's an irregular pentagon. Now we need to do some magic with it. It says down here. It says do a left turn, then a flip. Well, let's do a left turn first. A left turn is the opposite of what we did back here. Back here, right, we did a right turn. We went this way. What we're going to do here is do a left turn. We want to try to go that way. This is going to be tricky. So if I try to turn this 90 degrees to the left, what I'm going to end up looking like is this is going to kind of slant like that. That's this bottom part here. And then this one's going to kind of pinch up this way. That's the big long one. Okay, then it's going to come down. That's this one here. Then it's going to kind of go up at a point. And then if I did this right, I should be able to connect this down like that. I might have to just fill it in there. And that's this point and this point. And that's what it would look like with a left turn. Let me show you if I've been accurate. I should be able to copy this and then rotate it. Okay, let's rotate it. And okay, it's not bad. It's not that great. I probably could have done a bit more of a turn, but that's pretty good. Okay, so I've done that. You know, I might give myself a bronze award. Oops, don't do that. Group this together. I might give myself a bronze award for this one. So I've done my left turn. Tick that off. Tick. Oops. Tick. Now let's do a flip. So a flip is like a mirror image. It's like if I could take this and like flip it over on the other side like it was a reflection. So this is a bit tricky. So to give myself a hand with this, I'm going to draw a line of symmetry here. There you go. Now that's a bit easier. I just have to reflect this image. So I'm going to draw the first reflection, which would be this line like that. Then I'm going to draw it coming down like this, going up, coming down, and then back up like that. Okay, look, not great. It's not great, but it's pretty good. And I could, yeah, check this out. If I wanted to test it and see how good how well I drew, I can click on my first shape. I can right click. I can go over here and see it's even got a command called flip. So do I want to flip it left to right or up to down? I think I want to flip left to right. Flip. Yep, there we go. And then I can drag it over here and see, did I match it up? That's not too bad. That looks alright. So let me put this back to how it was. There we go. And very cool. Okay, so anyways, hopefully you've learned a little bit about irregular shapes. They're really hard to do these symmetry things like flipping and turning. You know, when we're talking about regular shapes, like if I just threw down, oh, let me pick one. How about a triangle, regular triangle. If I have a regular triangle, I mean that is so easy to turn around. You can do flips and slides, no worries. It's when you get into these irregular shapes you got to start thinking a little bit. So anyways, well done in the video, and I think you're ready to move on.